Welcome, welcome, welcome. I've learned to lower my volume when I do my intro because I get very, very loud.
Very loud.
I don't even know if you can hear me. I gotta low. Just I just blow. I pop it all the time.
You found the sweet spots.
And I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be happier. I'm trying to be more less of a pain in Hambone's ass.
Oh, stop! You're wonderful.
Yeah, that's what you keep telling me. Everybody else tells me I'm so mean to you. But then again, I think they're just overly sensitive.
Maybe.
I am George. This is Hambone. We have our special guest, superhero, historian, Game of Thrones genius, a master of all things geek culture. Ian Gonzalez is in the house today. Thank you for joining us.
Ahoy! Ahoy!
Hambone, what do we have in store for the kids today?
So we have a show that is jam-packed with awesome. First, we're going to talk about Game of Thrones, which just came back for its final season. We're going to do a quick review on Hellboy, Shazam, Pet Semetary, and we're going to give our thoughts on the new Disney+.
I am so excited for Disney+.
Me too.
Like, I thought it would be just a horrible waste of money, and it turns out it's the complete polar opposite.
It is loaded.
We actually made it to the end of the theme song. It's like actually fading out, which is nice. We never usually do.
Never do it.
The first thing we need today...
We're getting so good at this.
We need a cocktail.
I am so glad that you brought that up, George. So
classics. We're doing classics, right?
We're doing
cult classics.
We're doing some cult classics. I put a different spin on it today. Initially, for those joining us, the month of April was going to be April Fool's jokes. I was going to do on mocktails. Then I realized it's kind of a terrible idea. So what we're going to do today is this is not so much a classic as something that I was excited about because I'm so excited about Game of Thrones. I wanted to do something bloody because Game of Thrones is going to get bloody. So this is the Captain's Blood. Now, it came from Cocktail DB, and the riff on it that I'm doing is from the Pegu blog. So this Captain's Blood is a pretty cool cocktail. It's 1.5 ounces of Myers, because we love Myers dark rum, 1 ounce of lime juice, 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, 3/8 of an ounce of honey mix, which I know is going to be a pain in the ass to measure, but they're very specific.
The key is to let it like warm up to room temperature.
Yes.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, you want to get one of those little sauce pots. They sell them at the Stop and Shop. They're a very, very tiny little pot. You heat it up in there first, and then you just drizzle from there.
I think you could also just do it in the microwave with a little like plastic bowl. I think that works too.
That actually is probably a lot easier.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway,
Sorry.
You have a 1/4 ounce of falernum, and what you're going to do is you're going to put this in a shaker filled with ice. Now, this is something that you want to serve in a traditional daiquiri glass. You don't need to put ice in the glass. You're going to shake it you're going to shake it in the shaker full of ice, and you're going to strain it into the glass. Now, for garnish, they said to garnish it very nautical looking. So what you could actually do is you could take half of that lime that you squeeze to make the lime juice in, and you could actually stick a couple little swizzle swords in there and let it float in the glass.
I thought maybe that meant that you had to put it in like an upside down nautical helmet or something, a submariner helmet.
That would be cool too.
I'm not quite sure what nautical.
I like your way better.
Nautical sprigs of I don't know. I don't even know what the hell we're talking about here.
Either way, Captain's Blood in the spirit of Game of Thrones. Try it. It's delicious.
So last week you got me psyched on the Mai Tai. I did try out the
oh yes.
I tried out the who is it? I'm completely blanking right now on the almond orgeat. Who? It's the same people that make the
it's Lieber & Co.
Lieber & Co. Very good. I'd say it's on the same level as
they make quality stuff.
As the Latitude 29 version, so highly recommend it. I also must say, though, I'm very upset with you.
What? What did I do?
You didn't tell me we ran out of Martinique.
Oh, well.
Yeah, like that's my most. So I had to go. I went with Appleton. Appleton Estates. They're golden.
It's fantastic,
and it worked fine. I'm a huge
trick.
fan of the Martinique, so I have to go spring for that.
That Jonathan Levine. That's what he drank. When he was here.
Stop giving guests the good stuff. The good stuff is for you and me.
I poured him one. The rest was on him.
Jesus. I'm like, that was like, I'm pretty sure that was not empty. But regardless, at least
never leave an empty bottle in your house.
We had backup. All is good. But again, Ian, thank you for joining us today.
Of course. Thank you.
We are going to format the show where we're going to talk comic book movie. We are going to talk Disney app. No, we're going to do superhero movies together, Disney app, Pet Semetary, finish up with Game of Thrones because we might talk about some spoilers.
We might.
And also, just so everybody knows, we have discussed And we are, because Game of Thrones is only 6 episodes, we are just going to do a Game of Thrones segment for the next 6 weeks.
Every single week.
Because, I mean, it is possibly the greatest cultural moment right now, and possibly be, and we might want to discuss this maybe on another episode, because this one's a little too packed, but it is possibly the last show that people can watch in tandem, that we can all, like, discuss. Like, it's going to be a water cooler, because you know what? Netflix is killing the water cooler.
Netflix is killing the water cooler, except for guys like me, because I watch it all in one day.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't just, it's killing. I just read an article today, I forgot where it was, but basically, Netflix is really hurting. There might not be a Game of Thrones type situation again if everything moves to binge watch.
Well, this is a cultural phenomenon. This is the biggest and most significant TV series since Lost. And I don't know when there's going to be... Well, listen, when Lost was happening...
We got the first maybe 4 seasons, but I'll say The Sopranos, buddy. I got to give it to The Sopranos.
I don't know about that.
I think
feel
it's
like
6 of one, half a dozen the other.
Yeah, I agree with Ian. The Sopranos, I still feel is more of a regional thing than a cultural phenomenon. However, agree to disagree. I actually read a similar article on Netflix today. The problem with them not having anything around the water cooler, that's what's preventing them from really getting the nods for, like, say, Oscars and Emmys and stuff, because when you have the Hulu model and you have, say, even the Amazon model, they know how to get in there and they know how to stretch things out so you don't get it all at once, and that's what gets people talking. And the longevity of that is it gets more people to try to watch it because they don't feel like they are going to miss everything. If their friend comes like me to the water cooler, it's like, I just watched all 10 episodes, and how do you compete with that? How do you catch up with that?
Well,
you might have kids. I don't.
It's also the situation of it, having 10 episodes that are 10 weeks long really drags out the return factor to your network.
Right.
Whereas, you might watch Netflix, unless you're a Netflix and chill type person, you might just be going for Netflix for that one series. Right. And you binge it all, you're done, and that's the end of the day. So that's where, again, I think that's a topic we should put a pin for another week. I also have another good topic for next week. I think we should talk about the new Vice documentary series about wrestling.
Oh, yes.
The Dark Star. If you haven't seen it yet.
Haven't seen it yet.
Oh, the Bruiser Brody and the Miss Elizabeth Macho Man one are up now.
Oh, the Macho Man one
Yes,
dropped?
we should.
Nice.
And if you have, I know Apple TV, you can get an app for it.
Yeah.
Get the Viceland app if you have, as long as you have Fios.
I think the Bruiser Brody one is definitely available on YouTube.
Might be, just to get, that was the first one, so they might have done it to jumpstart it. Definitely check it out. If not, I can find a way to get you a password to use my account.
I appreciate that. I will say real quick, I've seen some of the clips for it, and I think Jake the Snake pops up. I am so happy to see Jake the Snake looking so healthy and happy.
Yeah, I said the same thing. He looks good. It's
he
weird.
Looks younger.
Very strange. Very strange.
Thank you, DDP.
Again, pin on all this stuff. That'll be for the next 2 weeks. Right now, I want to learn all about a movie that you did not let me watch, Shazam.
It was awesome. You should really watch it.
I hate you. I hate you so much. This is the first time, Ian, this is the first DC movie that I was excited to see.
Wow.
And that's very, very rare.
You are a hater of all things DC.
Staunchly hates
anything that's not in the Vertigo universe, I would probably say.
Okay, fair enough.
So Ian, you saw, let's start with you since you are a special guest and deserve a little bit of talk time. Because once Hambone starts talking about superhero movies, that's the end of it.
I get excited.
He learned it from me.
I got it from him.
Shazam. I know, the only thing I really know about him is he's like the reject Superman, but not really. Kind of like Captain Marvel to Captain America. That's how the old
Take him
Captain
to school,
Marvel.
Ian.
All right. So Captain Marvel is a boy named Billy Batson. Mm-hmm. Billy Batson's an orphan. Billy Batson runs away from his foster home to try and find his real mom, and winds up on a subway car to the Rock of Eternity. The Rock of Eternity is a place where all magic, basically it's the repository of all magic in the universe. And there's one wizard by the name of Shazam who is the guardian of said magic, and he is dying and needs to pass his powers to someone else, a pure soul. That pure soul being Billy Batson.
So it's like Thor.
Except
yes,
cooler.
Hambone, what's this movie about?
It's about everything that Ian told you about. I will say this: it's the difference between this and, say, a Superman movie or what I imagine to be DC Comics' problem with making movies is when it comes to not making movies about the big three: Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. They actually will let the directors off the chain a little bit and have some fun with it. Aquaman was super fun. Wonder Woman was very fun. This movie is a feel-good movie. This is a family movie. It is a Christmas movie, and it's a superhero movie all rolled up into one.
I felt a lot of Deadpool-type humor. I think they're allowing DC superheroes to laugh now.
The most PG version of Deadpool you can imagine.
Yes, it is it's very PG, but the jokes actually land.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Sinbad act.
Wow.
I don't know if I get that reference at all.
I got it, and I'm swishing it around in my brain right now. Little hamsters are trying to take that all in. The thing with this movie is it's a character that is in a lot of ways as powerful, if not more powerful than Superman, because he does not have the same weaknesses with kryptonite and magic. Because, spoilers, Superman is very allergic to magic.
Very.
The other thing is, it's just such a goofball. It's like a Guardians of the Galaxy style. Like, why are they making the Guardians of the Galaxy? Why would they make a Shazam movie? Because they could have fun with it, and they are not as restricted and chained down as they would be with doing the big three. And the movie was a blast. It was a blast, and it was something where I know a lot of people, will sit there and be like, but why do I care about this character? From the beginning of this movie into the end of the movie, you really do fall in love with Billy Batson, and you fall in love with Shazam, who is essentially a completely different character.
Does this fit into the DC cinematic universe? Is it part of it?
It is. There's a cameo by a certain superhero. I don't know. Do we want to spoil it?
No. We're trying to be good. We're trying very hard.
Now, in the trailers,
spoilers
you do see him throw a Batman toy at the villain, Dr. Sivana.
But I feel that's kind of meta. I mean, Deadpool also talks about Marvel.
So here's how it exists. Yes, it does exist in the greater DCU. It's treated as, say, like an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or a Heroes of Hell's Kitchen style. Yes, it exists in the same universe, but the two may never meet. For now, because even the main DC universe is completely up in the air. Like they failed at making the MCU in the DCU. So this is kind of, we're just going to make movies and see what sticks right now. So you got Wonder Woman, which does completely exist in the greater DC universe. Aquaman, which is pretty much existing in the major DC universe. And this is kind of the shield of the universe.
Yeah, there's enough in it that connects it, but it's not, it works on its own. You don't have to have watched Justice League.
Nope.
Okay, which is a good thing.
Yeah. That's
my God.
Very good thing.
El Stinko.
How are they going to resurrect this? I mean, the thing is, like, they've lost. It's not like Marvel, I think, always expected Chris Evans to leave. If anything, they've been writing towards it for the last, 5 years. How does the DCU overcome Ben Affleck and Harry Cavill? Is it just that they're going to just now played by? Is that where we're going?
Yeah, they're going to Dick York, Dick Sargent. One goes up the stairs, someone else comes down, same character.
Very similar to the original Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's come to a point, especially with Batman, because that's what you're saying is amazing. That there's been so many different versions, so many different Batman, and the stories just keep kind of connecting. I don't think that Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill have made enough of an impact as Batman or Superman that their presence is going to be missed at all.
And it's not like I don't know how they're going to do Chris Evans. I honestly think they're actually going to write off that Captain America for a while and then come back with a different character, Captain America, down the line. But it's going to be an honest write-off, not a now played by. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't know if you guys feel the same way.
I think your point is 100% on the money because people will miss Chris Evans as Captain America. It's not the same.
Not the same. 10 years is a long time.
Yeah, I think that's why they've introduced Black Panther, Captain Marvel, and these other characters to kind of let them take over the cinematic universe for a little while, and then they can slowly reintroduce those big three back into the Marvel movies with different actors.
What was your favorite part of Shazam, Ian?
My favorite part of Shazam? The fact that he says "holy moly," which is totally something that Billy Batson said, it's a total 1940s thing, but it's so good. I loved how they interpreted the 7 deadly sins, who are the main villain, basically the real villains of the movie. And I love how they brought in and introduced the foster home that Billy Batson winds up living in, because there's a bunch of kids and all the kids are awesome.
Awesome. Look, I am excited. One day I will see it when it's on Plex, many moons from now. shed a tear.
It's probably gonna be a while
or
because
we
it's
can
making
go
money.
see it. You and I can go see it. I will see it.
I'll see it again.
I might. Well, we might have to do it. But you guys also saw Hellboy.
Yes.
Hellboy is I don't even want to say polarizing because the reviews are. You made a comment on Twitter, Hambo, and I think it was a little half cocked when you're like a whole bunch of people hate it that haven't seen it, but no, the critics have actually seen it. And I think it's not spirit level, but it's not too far off from spirit level. I will chime in here. This is Hellboy, who I was never a big fan of the first movie, but loved the second movie. A product that was beloved because Benicio del Toro, is that?
Yep.
Yes. He was the
Guillermo
creative.
del Toro.
Guillermo. Damn it. I
Yeah.
knew it. I knew I was going to get them wrong. Guillermo del Toro. I mean, I even went to his L.A. Exhibit. I don't know.
Really?
Did we ever talk about that?
I don't think we ever did, no.
We may not have had the show yet.
No.
I went to the Guillermo del Toro exhibit in LA, and it was one of the greatest exhibits ever because his art, his level of creativity, his costume design, his everything is like Tim Burton level, if not even more amazing than Tim Burton.
Agree.
But anyway, this is a franchise that was picked up off of Guillermo del Toro, and they kind of, I don't know whether we won't talk about that, whether it's a reimagining. I don't know if this is a continuation. I can't believe they did another origin story. Ian, what are we watching here? Why is Hellboy back?
I'm not sure why they didn't just continue the universe. Just with a different, because it is a reboot.
Oh, fuck. It's
Complete
an origin
reboot.
story again?
No. His origin is briefly explored, and there are scenes that are very familiar from the first film. Like Cronin makes a quick appearance, Rasputin makes a quick appearance.
But when they
it's a very small
retouch
part.
on the origin in this movie, they do it so fucking good.
Yes.
So fucking good. Like, if you're a fan of Hellboy, oh my God, they fucking got it right.
There's a deep dive cameo.
So good.
So why the hate? Because I feel there's no accident. Look, you can argue about the DC universe. There is legitimate Marvel fanboys out there for some reason just hate DC for existing, which I, for the life of me, cannot understand. But like Hellboy doesn't have that. It's a Dark Horse product. Why is there so much? So there's got to be something wrong with this movie.
So here's the thing. It's an actual comic book movie. It's not made like a traditional movie. It's made like a comic book. It's made like you're reading a comic book from front to back, where you start here, then you're here, and then you're here, and then you go here. It just keeps folding into itself and not done in the traditional way that they make Avengers movies now, or even like any kind of Captain America movie, where maybe you're in like 3 locations tops, and there's like a lot of dialogue between characters. Like Hellboy at his core is the son of the devil and a human, and he fights monsters. That's it. That's what Hellboy does. And that's what he does in the movie.
And he's kind of badass.
He's a total badass. And the thing is, the Guillermo del Toro movies are very nuanced because they're Guillermo del Toro movies. This Guillermo del Toro is a man that made The Shape of Water. He won an Oscar at this point. Like, you know who you're getting into bed with when you're getting into bed with GDT. This is not a nuanced movie. It is an honest-to-God comic book movie, and I think that's why people have such a problem with it, because they're so used to the Marvel model of what a superhero movie is intended to be and should look like and how it should conduct itself now.
But Ian, do you feel there's a little bit of hate because it's not Guillermo del Toro?
I think that might be part of it, because this film is a lot closer to the tone of the Hellboy comic than Guillermo del Toro's movies were. Guillermo del Toro's movies are great.
Yeah.
But the first one is kind of like Hellboy for Dummies, where they take some of the greatest hits, they disregard certain characters' motivations to make tropes so it's easier for a general audience to stomach. And they even have like an entry point character that's not in the comics.
Right.
The second movie is a Guillermo del Toro movie.
I mean, it's like the leftovers of Pan's Labyrinth.
It's so good, though.
It's amazing.
So good.
And
But Neil Marshall, who directed the new one, is not Guillermo del Toro, and Guillermo del Toro is not Neil Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
They're two very different filmmakers. And what, like, the concept that Neil Marshall was interested in doing was a monster movie that it starts at a luchador match.
oh, so good. Yeah.
And like then moves to the United States.
Yes.
And then it moves to England. It's
Right.
a globe-trotting adventure, and the effects sometimes are kind of not good.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I agree with you, and I disagree with you about the Guillermo del Toro thing, George.
I didn't agree. I've never seen the movie. I'm just throwing out comments here.
I'm saying how you wish that they continued Guillermo del Toro story. The minute that Guillermo del Toro couldn't be involved or wasn't going to be involved, I wouldn't want them to do it, because I would hate for them to do what they did in this movie and try to lodge it into the Guillermo del Toro idea and universe, because no one's going to do it like Guillermo del Toro did. That said, it had to be kind of on its own. Like, it had to kind of start over. One of the things that's terrible, the special effects are really bad, this movie.
Oh.
Like, there's some things where... There are some things that look really good. And the things that don't look really bad. Like, there's a wide berth.
Yeah.
There's a real wide berth.
There are times where you see Mila Jovovich's disembodied head. It's not the best CGI.
It's like the same CGI from Death Becomes Her. Remember?
Yeah.
And that was like, what, 1989? Something like that?
Yep.
Yeah. So... I don't know what they blew the budget on. It cost $50 million to make. I don't know what they blew the budget on.
$50 million's not a lot of money.
Yeah, clear, and you could tell in the special effects.
Like I think the first Deadpool was $50 million.
Yeah, you could tell in the special effects, and that's definitely where they came up short. Like, there's some ghosts and some ectoplasmic things. I mean, there's some things that happen where the monsters look better with the shitty effects, but then there's some things where you kind of really need them to bring that effect home, and they don't do it.
The ectoplasm effects look like a slight step above the CGI rock in The Mummy Returns.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, and that's how it looks, though.
And I like this movie.
Yeah.
But hey, that looked like garbage.
Should they have, or did they do a lot of stuff in the darkness to cover up and mask some of that?
No.
Oh, that's the worst part. Like, I hate when movies are in the dark when they do it to cover up bad CG, but it's even worse when they don't cover up bad CG in the dark.
I mean, some of the effects are so bad, you're kind of like, why didn't they just do it in the dark to cover up the bad CG? Because honestly, if they had done it in the dark to cover up the bad CG, it would have been a lot better.
Real talk.
Yeah.
Do you go to the movies, or do you wait for this on demand, Hambone?
I think if you're a Hellboy fan, you should go to the movies and see this movie. I think that the story is everything that you want to get out of Hellboy, and it's fun. I had a blast. Watching it. There are 2 after-credit sequences. I just want to put this out there. Holy shit. For a movie that does not exist in a bigger universe, 2 after-credit sequences is really ambitious. I am over the after-credit sequences. I just want to go take a piss.
Yeah.
Ian?
I love Hellboy, but if you got a choice between going to see the movie and buying the comics, buy the comics. And then watch the movie
I agree.
when it's on demand.
That's a good alternative option. I think I will definitely hold off on Hellboy. I probably will watch it. I mean, if you're giving it this much a glowing review, because, then again, it's taken me about a month and I still haven't gone through Aquaman. I'm still struggling. I still haven't finished that. We do about half hour at a time.
Okay, so Aquaman special effects, amazing.
Well, that's because Aquaman is pure animation.
Right.
Like that, there's no hidden strings. Like, that is full on CG, hardcore CG.
Yeah, I wonder if this is going to look better on TV, because I think that seeing it in the big screen in Dolby might have been a little
This might
ambitious.
be better on VHS.
Oh, it would look great on VHS.
With the rear projection television. Maybe break out the CRT to watch Hellboy.
That's how you should watch this movie.
Another movie I was gonna see when I was in Chicago when we were launching 5G a couple weeks ago, but I chose to not be depressed and chose against it. Was I have a feeling I probably left the dehumidifier on. It should be over in a second. Fine. It's not that bad. It's almost like an airplane hangar landing, aircraft carrier landing in our dining room.
I'll tell you, it's not as bad as a buddy of mine lives in Chicago, and when he records his podcast and the L goes by. There's no muffling the L, guys.
I can't handle that. Ian, you saw Pet Semetary. Pet Semetary, after seeing it, I was kind of excited for Pet Semetary, but I also realized that Pet Semetary was the scariest Stephen King book I had ever read, to the point where I had to put it down. Also said I was probably 9 or 10 years old when I read it.
Oh my God.
As the person who saw the movie, and I assume you've seen the original movie,
yes.
How does this compare? Is it worth seeing? Did they do justice to the book?
No on all fronts.
Really?
You've seen Jurassic Park?
Yes, the original is a classic.
You know the scene with the Triceratops dung?
Yes.
And Jeff Goldblum says that's one big pile of shit.
Yep.
That's how I feel about the Pet Sematary movie.
Why is that? I know you mentioned it's dark. I mean, I feel like
it's too dark.
I feel like it's almost like falls into the list of my previous favorite pastime, which was watching movies, depraved movies,
right,
that will cause you to lose your faith in humanity.
You do like watching a depraved movie.
I really enjoyed everything from 120 Days of Solo to Human Centipede to what do you call it? The Siberian movie.
Serbian film?
Serbian film.
I've seen some of the worst movies ever, and I've truly enjoyed them.
But those are well-made movies. There's a level of competency to their structure that doesn't exist in Pet Sematary.
Okay, so Pet Sematary, we know it differs from the original and the book because we found out the older 10-year-old girl is the one who dies instead of the boy. No spoilers on anything here. I would like to know, what did you hate about the movie?
There's no character development whatsoever. There really is. They don't really do. They actually do, I think, less with the setup than the original movie did. Mm-hmm. There's no real atmosphere to it. Everything's jump scares.
Which is my least favorite type of scare. We've talked about this a lot. I am way more of the Conjuring, Hereditary, that vein of, oh my God, you know the shit's coming. You see it coming behind them. You just have to sit there and take it. Then the, oh my God.
Yep.
Yay.
The whole movie.
I hate that. I hate that so much. I feel like the original Pet Sematary, the creep factor, which was great because you knew the shit was going to happen. You didn't really need jump scares for it.
Yeah, and it's all jump scares, and there's just leaps in logic that don't make any sense. But by the end of the film, they found a way to make it more nihilistic than the original book.
Whoa.
You see,
there's no hope.
I actually enjoyed the original movie more than the book, just the very ending, because I felt the movie it left it open to interpretation. Yes, it could have been the mom was going to kill whatever, but they cut to black instead of showing it, and I felt that was a stronger ending than the book, which really dragged out the desolate, absolute nothing but badness at the end, and it just
was he getting paid by the word at that point, or what?
No, it was actually not a very long. No, it wasn't a very long book. It was one of his shorter novels.
It's actually a funny story. He wrote that book, did not like it, put it in a drawer, and then he had an issue with his publisher,
right?
And he wanted to get out of a contract.
It was a Prince contract situation.
Ooh, yeah.
So he and his wife were like, "Hey, what about that Pet Sematary book you hate? Just give it to them." So he gave it to them. He fulfilled his contract, and it turned out to be very financially beneficial for him several times over now.
It is one of those situations like a band has to release a greatest hits album to get out of the contract.
Yep.
So I kind of understand where that comes from. I, however, do think it's one of the best horror movie books ever written.
Oh, it's a great book.
I mean, it definitely was something different. I mean, it took on the zombie resurrection type of thing, but really ratcheted up.
And also, best Ramones song ever written because of it.
Yeah.
Is it? You gotta tell me. I know it is. I feel like it is, but is it in the movie?
There is a cover of it at the end that is not. It's an okay cover.
Okay.
I'd rather listen to the original. The movie does delve into self-parody at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they realize it's self-parody, but there's a pretty funny scene involving a shovel hitting someone in the head.
I'm always good for a shovelhead joke.
So it is not of the level of It or the caliber of the modern It.
I like them. I don't love the modern It as much as you do. But I think it's a better movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I would rather watch that. If someone said to me, you can watch either Pet Sematary or It, the new one, I'll watch It, the new one.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch Pet Sematary with Hambone under a blankie one day. We'll do that.
Yeah,
That's
you
Totally
should
gonna
have
do
fun.
it. Yeah. Glow sticks and popcorn. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Allison's are like, nope, not watching Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
That movie's done.
The cat's cool. I'll say that.
The cats are always cool in these movies. Like every Stephen King movie's got a cool cat in it.
It's a well-trained
if there's a cat in it.
Very well trained cat.
Yeah.
So Disney this week, out of nowhere, we were been waiting for a while to find out more information about the Disney Plus app. We might have even talked about it on the show before, but they actually they laid it out on the conference call,
That's so cool.
including pricing. So Disney is going to release a standalone app, much like the WWE app, or I don't want more like Netflix than like an HBO Go, because it's not just what they have; it's a whole self-contained app with original programming. So definitely more of a Netflix. What Netflix has become, because Netflix was a repository at one point, or a WWE Network app, or something that has a lot of original content on there, and it's only going to cost $6.99 for start,
which is amazing. Like that's the night. I think that's what Netflix cost when it first came out.
I don't remember, because I think I was also doing first of all, I started Netflix with DVDs, so there's
is
that.
Crazy when you think about that.
But it is coming up. It's coming out soon-ish. I think it's going to be by the end of the year. Is that what they said?
Yeah.
Or is there no
November.
official? There was an official
November. Yeah.
The price is nuts. I can't believe they announced a price that low. I always thought WWE was undervalued at $9.99.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
For the sheer amount of content on there. But it's not going to be. Look, it's not going to be the Disney Kids app or whatever the Disney app we use right now for our son. It's not going to be just a repository for like the Puppy Dog Tales and the rando Lego Guardians of the Galaxy stuff.
Yep.
This is going to be a Disney app that's going to be for like all the classic Disney movies,
except for Song of the South. There's got to be one they bury.
Which is sad, because that is my favorite ride in all of Disney.
Yeah.
Splash Mountain is the greatest thing ever, but it is also like very scary.
can't ever
I think
show
I'm
Song of the
talking
South
about.
again.
I think that is Song of the South. I think it is. I think they used the characters for it, but it is also going to be major leaning on Marvel. Can you talk to us a little bit about some of the programming you're excited for on the Disney Plus app?
So first and foremost, they just announced the Star Wars Celebration in Chicago. They did a panel on The Mandalorian. The Jon Favreau is the showrunner, and it is about a Mandalorian who's on the outskirts of the galaxy after Return of the Jedi, just being a badass bounty hunter like a Mandalorian should. And Gina Carano's in it, and Carl Weathers is in it, and Werner Herzog is in it, which I think is like a weird flex, but we're going with it. It feels all right. And they're going back to practical effects. So all the ships are going to be miniatures. All the buildings are going to be models. It's going to be amazing. They're also going to be doing some original Marvel programming as well. You'll have the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show. You're going to have the Scarlet Witch and Vision show. Loki's getting his own program as well, which is pretty cool.
I wish the Scarlet Witch and the Vision one was more like the Visions family comic book, which was one of my favorite recent comic books. I'm so excited for this. I think they're doing it right. I hope they have it age restricted so we can get some darker stuff on there.
I'm sure they will.
They haven't quite explained that. Just so you know, if you go to the Disney Plus website right now, it does have a countdown. It's launching November 12th, 209 days, 10 hours, 23 minutes, 4 seconds. This is really cool. There's going to be Star Wars, there's going to be Pixar, Marvel, Disney, and National Geographic, which I didn't realize they had the Nat Geo network.
The mouse owns everything.
Very strange.
So I got 2 points. First point is my long prediction here. I would put money down that we're going to see like a West Coast Avengers style like connection happening with all the Marvel TV shows going on in Disney Plus. My second thing is, it's funny because a few years back they were talking about trying to make cable a la carte, and the cable companies were pushing back because they have different sponsors, they have different people who pay to have their networks on those cable networks. We're almost to a point now with Disney Plus. You got Disney Plus, you got Hulu, you got Netflix, you got Amazon streaming. You have the Criterion, you got HBO Go, and any way you want to get Showtime and to get like Cinemax through Hulu. We are at a point now where if you can get like live TV in there somehow, you have a la carte cable. You have exactly what you want. You're paying for like 9 different services now.
That's the problem. You're actually probably going to be paying more.
Yeah.
When you wrap in Your Wife Wants Bravo for the Housewives, like once you start going into that realm, it does get that's a whole another topic. I actually probably shouldn't be versed on this because I work for a company that provides.
I'm just saying, like as it's happening, I'm like, if you like certain things, you can get a la carte cable now. You just can't get live television.
What are your thoughts, Ian? Are you excited for this?
I'm excited for Disney Plus. I'm very excited for The Mandalorian. And also, you buried the lead, Giancarlo Esposito's in it too.
Oh, I
know.
know.
You see Gustavo Fring flying a TIE fighter.
Oh, I have not seen this yet. I'm so excited.
Dude. It looks, I love that dude, and I can't wait to see what that show is.
It's going to be good.
So here, let's go through. I'm going to go through some of this, the original TV programming. I mean, most of it is actually Marvel bent. The Mandalorian, Marvel / Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars: The Clone Wars could continue the saga of the cult animation.
Yeah,
stuff
the
like that.
final season. The Siege of Mandalore.
Ultimate Star Wars Rogue One prequel series. So I think they're going to continue that storyline.
Love
That's
it.
Cassian Andor and K2SO.
Yes, it is, and played by Diego Luna. And it's going to take place before the events of Rogue One. We got Loki, the TV show, starring the actor Tom Hiddleston. Hiddleston? Did I say his name right?
Hiddleston.
Was maybe he's what made Avengers, the first movie, great, and why Avengers, the second movie, sucked. I mean, he's so good at it. I also love the second Thor movie because I think he's amazing in it.
Yeah.
But that's just me. You also have WandaVision, a Marvel series that focuses on Scarlet Witch and Vision. That's the name of it's a little... Oh, WandaVision. Oh, I get it now. That took a second.
I was waiting for you.
I was going for Scarlet Vision. I thought would have worked as well.
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Played by both characters who are played them in the movies.
No, they've gotten everyone who's in the movies to do the TV shows.
Here's what I'm excited for.
What's that?
Marvel What If. So what if...
It's animated, right?
They have an animated series that takes a look at how the Marvel Cinematic Universe would look if certain events had happened differently. This is one of my favorite comic books. Next
Me
to
too.
weird pseudo comic books, What If and Damage Control are my two favorite comic book. Is Damage Inc. or Damage Control?
Damage
Control.
And did you know that actually we're trying to pilot Damage
Yes,
Control for
they were.
ABC, and that didn't happen? And thank God, because it would have sucked.
Yeah, Damage Control is a story of the cleanup crew that has to clean up after all these superhero battles and what it's like.
Written by the late, great Dwayne McDuffie.
So good, so good. But What If is just exactly what you think it is. Like, what if the Dark Phoenix had not been killed?
Yeah.
What if Wolverine was a bad guy? Like, what? Just weird situations. And it's long-running comic book series. There've been multiple versions of it, but it's one of my favorites as a kid.
What's your favorite What If?
Oh Jesus, you're putting me on the spot now. I mean, I think it was like What If Inferno, like the ones that were based on major crossover events.
Really?
If they went sideways.
Oh, wait, that's the one where Wolverine eats a baby.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It might be. I don't remember. Like any of the What If Marvel X-Men, like funny side up, Mutamasker, Infernos.
Okay. What about you, Ian?
What if Wolverine was Lord of the Vampires?
That was mine. That's mine.
That's such a good one.
It's the best one.
It's such a good one.
Wolverine gets turned by Dracula, kills Dracula, and then the Punisher has to kill all the vampires in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, it's the Dracula possessed by the ghost of Doctor Strange, killing vampires with bullets covered in holy water.
God, I wish that is what they make as a cartoon.
That'd be so awesome.
So on the Disney side, you have High School Musicals coming back,
Yeah.
Monsters at Work, which is a Pixar thing with Monsters Inc. and Monster University,
cool.
Diary of a Female President, a show about a 12-year-old Cuban American girl who is destined to become president of the U.S., President of the United States, Love, Simon, based on the teen comedy movie, and oh my God, why didn't you mention this? Seriously, Hambone. The Sandlot, a show based on the cult hit. Did you know that?
No, but you don't need to go back to that well, man. Like, it's a perfect...
I know. It's a little weird. It's a little
like,
weird.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
Just, here's the thing. You have a network. Just show the fucking movie.
There's a ton of...
Just Christmas Story. Put it on for 24 hours. Don't make a series of The Sandlot, you silly jerks.
a ton of non-scripted shows I'm a little excited about, like Marvel 616, that's about just how Marvel comic stories and characters intersect in the real world.
Right.
You have the Marvel's Hero Project, a series about kids who are making a difference in their communities. Lots of
That's
feel-good,
nice.
lots of feel-good
That's
stuff.
some real Disney shit.
Yeah.
And The World According to Jeff Goldblum, a Nat Geo series centering on actor Jeff Goldblum and his look at interesting things in the planet. This is all brought to you by Android Authority.
Let me tell you something about Jeff Goldblum. That dude knows how to get paid.
Yep.
Good for you. Good for you, Jeff Goldblum.
Anyway, I'm excited for it. We're obviously going to get it for, I always was thinking, like, obviously this is going to be geared towards my child, but I think that's where the Disney Kids app still exists.
Right.
Whether they're going to fold this into that or not, we don't know. Obviously, Hulu, things are getting interesting with them. I mean, now Disney owns a major chunk of Hulu, and AT&T just sold their major chunk of Hulu. So I'm curious if at the end of the day, they sold it back to Hulu. So I'm wondering if somehow in here Disney ends up biting the whole apple.
I know I make the joke a lot that the mouse owns everything, but at what point does the mouse officially own everything?
When
At what point does the mouse win at Monopoly?
When it buys WWE. Because I won't lie, that has been one of the, like, I've wondered who could buy WWE, because it would have to be a major entity that knows how to do superhero-like, superhuman-like characters, and who knows characters better than, like, the Marvel, the Marvel, Star Wars, Disney, the arm of that. I think they could, especially now that WWE's been PG for a while. I think they could and still allow the family to maintain control of it, much like Lucasfilm still kind of maintains control of the Star Wars universe.
Well, my mind's blown.
And Joe Quesada and obviously the Marvel, that's still run by Marvel.
Well, that's weird. There's some weird inside baseball stuff with that.
Yes, but I could see McMahon still running the WWE, but being owned by Disney. And that's where you could have what the dream that I think Vince McMahon always had, which is to have to truly be a pop culture phenomenon.
Yeah.
I don't know. Isn't he kind of an egomaniac?
Oh, he's a lunatic.
So,
but he's going to die soon.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I think he's going to outlive us all.
I think his kids
could sell
it. I think his kids will sell
Tough.
it. But I don't know that he would. I think he's too...
At some point, he's going to need enough money to afford the XFL.
Yeah.
And that might actually...
I forgot about that.
Yeah, because Vince doesn't like to fail. So we'll see what happens there. But anyway, we're staying off tangent. We already did our WrestleMania thing last week. I'm excited for it. Looking forward to November. Been looking forward for a very long time for Game of Thrones.
Okay. If you have not watched it yet, shame on you. This is going to be airing on Thursday. You had like 4 days. We're going to spoil the shit out of some shit right now. So if that's the case, turn the show off. You've been warned.
I am so excited. It's 2 years. 2 years we waited for this.
I know. Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they needed 2 years. They never really explained why they needed 2 years to do 6 episodes. But it's done. It's happened. It's in the can. We got the first episode, the non-spoiler version. It continues where it left off.
Yep.
And there is, it's the world of Westeros. Things are happening. I just want to let you know that I prepared heavily. I was trying to get through seasons 4, 5, and 6, and 7. 4, 5, 6, and 4. Half of 4, 5, 6, and 7 before we started 8. I failed miserably when I had my surprise trip to Chicago, and then the concert on Saturday. If I didn't go to the concert on Saturday, I might have actually been able to make it, but I failed. I supported our friend Adam Bird, and you know what? Right decision. I'm happy.
Good job, Adam.
And I watched it, and guess what? I should have watched some of season 7 because there was a lot of that shit. Lots of these noises. He was there. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about the hipster guy running the Greyjoys.
Yeah.
That's the problem with taking 2 years to put out a season. That I didn't go back and watch anything because I learned in the past that you'll figure it out eventually. And then the next day you read an article on the internet and you're like, oh, so that's what that was. And now we're back. Now we're fine.
The power move should have been for me to have just watched season 7 to prepare, and maybe at the least watch the last episode of season 7.
So I will say this. I agree with you because most of the people that you care about or that you are needing to know about in the final season are still alive in season 7. Like everyone else is dead. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of what it is. I will also say that this show is spectacular with tying up all the loose ends and giving callbacks to things that happen. Like, there are things that happen in the very beginning of the show that are now paying off in the very first episode of the last season. And I think they're very good at keeping track of that.
I felt this episode is really just a whole episode of like warm and fuzzy. This is the warm and fuzzy episode where everybody finally reunites.
Yeah.
Because that's it. This is all the happy and warm.
Well, it's all downhill from here.
Because by the end of the episode, shit's going down.
Because George R. R. Martin would never have allowed this much warm and fuzzy feelings by now.
That's funny. I read an article on him today where he was like talking about how he needs. They're like, well, are you gonna? Anderson Cooper did an interview with him recently. He's like, well, how are you gonna feel when they're gonna obviously
when you never finish the books and die?
Yeah. He goes, well, they're finishing the series. He's like, do you think that you're gonna feel weird that people are gonna constantly compare whatever you end up putting in the end to what the two dudes did for Game of Thrones on TV? And he goes, no, it's going to be similar. Like, obviously there's some characters that aren't going to make it into the TV series. Obviously characters are going to be a lot more fleshed out by the end, but we're pretty much going to be in the same spot, which is the greatest stall tactic for I'm never finishing these fucking books.
Yeah.
Ian, what were your thoughts? Did you enjoy the episode?
I liked it a lot. It was a really, it felt, I liked how it brought us back into that world, reintroduced us to all the major players, gave us some nice moments. Even in the beginning, when you see the little Umber Boy trying to see the Unsullied marching in,
Yeah.
and you see Arya give him room, which is a nice callback to the first episode of the show, where Arya is trying to do what the little Umber Boy's doing.
Yeah.
Although things don't turn out as well for the little Umber Boy as they do for Arya.
Yeah, that was one of the scariest scenes I'd ever seen in a Game of Thrones
Yeah.
episode.
It
I actually
was
jumped.
awesome.
I may have actually screamed a little bit.
Yeah. See, that's worth a jump scare.
That's worth a jump. Well, it wasn't
Yeah.
a jump scare. It just kind of came out of nowhere.
But you jump at the end of it because it's horrifying.
Yeah, it's horrifying. That's more of it.
There's a zombie child with a bunch of disembodied arms nailed to a wall.
Yeah. I will say that the memes have been next level today with all the Game of Thrones stuff going on. One of the things that I got a real kick out of was there's a point where Cersei is talking to the boat guy, the hipster boat guy, and the hipster boat guy is horny for Cersei. So she leans over and says to him, and this is going to be the big quote for like women, if you want a whore, go buy one. If you want a queen, earn her. And I was fucking dying because this is going to be now replacing that more often than not, like, we think Marilyn Monroe might have said, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. She didn't. However, a lot of people will put that places like, that's, all that, it's all bullshit. And now the new it's all bullshit quote is Cersei Lannister.
It was so good.
Ugh.
I love the fact that it started last season, but the dark Sansa, dark Cersei look, like they're going black.
Yeah.
So weird. And I get most of the characters are going to this like battle armor mode. Like it's like a toy when you've released all the versions of Snake Eyes and He-Man and Skeletor you can. So you go with like the Jedi Luke Skywalker because you have to. They're all just going dark right now in the costumes, which is funny because as far as I know, there isn't a kids toy line for Game of Thrones. I mean, there shouldn't be.
I mean, my God, no.
When we were kids, though, there would have been.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on. There was Conan the Barbarian and
was
Rambo.
Dune toys.
There was a Rambo cartoon.
Yeah.
There was a Rambo cartoon. Can we just be like? I just want to reinforce that there was a Rambo cartoon.
Was that before or after Rambo 3?
I don't know.
Around the same time. Do you know why I think the one thing that I think prevents them from making Game of Thrones children toys, like what the bridge that they can't cross is? All the incest. I think that if it wasn't for all the incest, they probably would have been like, yeah, we can make some Game of Thrones kids toys.
I got a bigger thing for you. It's 2019 and not 1989.
Yeah,
I think
Canada don't make toys no more.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some figures.
but they're adult status
Yeah,
adult
but they're
figures.
like Star Wars Black Series figures. They're like
No,
adult.
but they were like 3 3/4 inch ones.
Oh, well, Funko make anything.
Yeah,
even
that's
with all
true.
the incest.
Anyway, look, there was a lot of hate over the extended dragon flying winky eye scene between Jon Snow and Daenerys Stormborn, or brother of dragons / Khaleesi /
it's his aunt.
his aunt.
Yeah.
His aunt. I actually thought it was for me. It like harkened back to Atreyu in Neverending Story.
Absolutely.
I got so much of an Atreyu buzz out of that. I don't know about you, Ian.
I never saw. Actually, no, I saw. How many minutes of the Neverending Story at your house?
7.
And I said, this is really boring, and I stopped watching it.
Maybe 9 with the credits.
Are you sure that was a Neverending Story 2? Because that was the only movie I fell asleep into in the
I
movies.
never saw it as a kid.
Yeah.
So there was that. Like if I watched, like I love the Ewok movies.
Yes.
They are garbage
Oh, they're-
movies.
Oh,
but
bad.
I love them.
I haven't watched them as an adult.
And don't. Unless you truly love them. And I can appreciate, but I grew up with them, so that's why I like them. I objectively know they're trash. Although the Gorax is pretty awesome.
Gorg's pretty cool. Yeah.
However, like I didn't grow up with it. I never saw it as a child, so I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I would not have taken you for a non-Never-Ending Story person. That's a little
Yeah.
strange.
Never saw it.
I will say, though, I like the dragon scene because it sets up for when Jon Snow and Sam have their interaction later.
Yes.
Where he realizes in that moment, well, I just did ride a fucking dragon, so maybe I am a Targaryen. Shit.
But you see, I don't think being able to ride the dragon makes you Targaryen. I think the being fireproof makes you a Targaryen.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put
I don't
that to
know.
the
I don't
test.
think it's a like. I mean,
I thought only Targaryens were able to
Yeah, I
ride
think only
dragons.
Targaryens-
Really?
Yeah, I think that's like a thing.
The
Yeah.
Targaryen, like the dragon, will not let a non-Targaryen.
so here's a
ride.
question for you nerds. Not that I'm not even as worse at
I was
this.
gonna say, pop me, Kelly.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Seriously, the story always was that there was 3 dragons ridden by 3 Targaryens. I believe there's supposed to be 3, and I think that was always alluded to. But there is only 2 dragons left.
No, there's a third dragon,
There's their dragon. Hey, I mean,
and
he's
it's going to be ridden
Oh yes,
Yeah.
by the Night King.
but he's not a Targaryen.
he might
How
be.
do you know?
Well. Yeah, I remember. I think it was the episode, the Hold the Door, where they go through
Yeah.
how he was created. I don't think they ever said he was, unless that's not the. I don't even know if that's the Night King, though.
Or you know, you have the double turn where the dragon finds Tyrion and is like, "All right, we're good. Like I'm an undead dragon, but you're still a Targaryen, so same."
But
thing.
Tyrion's
Yeah.
not a Targaryen.
Well, he
Yes.
might be.
Oh,
Yeah,
I haven't really. No, they haven't gone there yet.
I think Tyrion's a Targaryen.
Why?
They haven't said it, but there's been rumors, even in to elements of the books, where
I remember the elements of the books. The problem is that in the TV show, they've made it clear like Cersei and Jaime were there when their brother was born and killed their mother.
right,
So it's all.
and that's in the book too.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, a Targaryen might be his father.
I think that's pushing a little bit right now. We'll see where they go. I'm willing to wait. We'll see where they go. They got 5 episodes.
Can I tell you my favorite thing to come out of this new episode?
Sure.
It was in the episode, but it was one of the the gifts, I guess, or one of the little videos that I saw today for it. And it was when Jaime Lannister finally gets to the thing, and he walks and he takes his hood off and he's all smiling, and he looks across the courtyard and he sees Bram, and they lock eyes and his eyes get big, and the fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm music starts playing, and it was like the most perfect. Exactly what would happen in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Awkward turtle.
Yeah.
I mean that's where the payoff. You got a lot of those feel good payoffs in this. I thought it was very well done. I think this episode was needed because I think this is the last time we're ever gonna have feel good moments on this show.
Oh yeah, no.
My favorite moment of the show, I really enjoyed. First of all, anything with Braun. I'm so glad
Yeah.
they did the Braun. Braun has been done so much better in the TV show than in the books. Partially because they consolidated him, but he pretty much was ran off after like book 3 in the books. He he has like lands and this and that, but they don't really do much with him.
Yeah.
So they've made him a center, real focal point of the TV show. I love that.
He has the best line.
Do it.
That fucking family.
There is, Allison said today that she thinks that Daenerys might not make it because she's getting too cocky.
I don't think she's gonna make it.
You don't think she's going to make it?
I don't think she's gonna make it.
You think Jon Snow sits on there? Do you think
think-
Cersei sits on there at the throne?
I think that the blacksmith kid is the one that ultimately sits on the Iron Throne. Like, I think in the end of everything, Jon Snow doesn't want to be a king.
Yep.
I don't think that Sansa really wants to be a queen. I think they just have unfinished business with the Lannisters and also don't want to die by the White Walkers. I think ultimately the long game is the blacksmith kid ends up sitting on the Iron Throne and Arya is kind of like sitting by him.
Do you know who had it the worst in the show?
The guy got his dick cut off.
The direwolves.
Oh no! Don't remind me of
Seriously,
doggies, George.
like so much of those books were like
I'm sad.
built around the direwolves, and the direwolves were so tossed. I think Lady and Ghost are the only living ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think Ghost is still alive,
Yeah, Ghost, who knows where, but Ghost is alive.
and Lady is still alive. But everybody else is dead, and it became an afterthought that the wolves became like that. They were so important to the earlier episodes, and then it was like, well, what was I hope
I
that-
forgot about so much over 2 years.
I really hope they bring back, like they go full circle with the direwolves, because I feel that was important.
So, do you think now there are 5 episodes left? Next week is only an hour long. Then every other one is going to be extra long. Do you think next week is just the lead up to the battle? Like everyone's just kind of getting their shit together because we know what's coming.
No, I think next week. I think first you gotta deal with Cersei before you deal with the battle.
You think?
Not deal with her, but like I think that needs to be figured out. Like she's not gonna just not roll in or roll in. Like something's gotta happen. You think she just joins him and then backstabs in the back. I don't know. I actually have.
I don't think Cersei shows up at all.
I have a theory.
Go ahead, Ian. We need you.
I feel like King's Landing is going to be to this story what Times Square, New York City is to the end of Watchmen. I think they're going to be so focused on thinking the White Walkers are coming to the north first. I think the White Walkers are going to the biggest population center in Westeros. I think they're just going to make a beeline there
that would be delicious.
and attack the city, and they're not going to be ready. And then they're going to have, and then Daenerys, Jon, probably Jaime, and everyone else is going to have to go and save King's Landing.
Okay, so I'm going to piggyback on that because I think that's a great idea. I think that Cersei slips out onto the boat with the dude, and then the end is Arya getting her, tracking her down and killing her. Like, she's not going to die by White Walkers, Cersei. Cersei's going to die by Arya's hand.
Hipster boat guy's got to go.
Yeah, he's the worst character.
He's the worst actor.
He's a terrible actor. He's a terrible character. Like, I'm hoping, like, Sunday starts with him taking a wee off the side of a boat and someone just pushing him over by accident.
A giant shark
and then
creature
he drowns
bites him
and dies.
The worst. I mean,
Sharknado across the real and wanting.
We felt the same way when they had the different guy playing the part of the
Diana Harris.
Yes. And they, thank God, mercifully swapped him out. They should have done that between seasons with this guy, too, because this guy is so bad. And he was horrible in the books. He's actually consolidated two brothers, because we actually had to deal with two of them in the book. Two shitty brothers in the book. And in this case, it's getting put into one. Obviously, they haven't gotten this far in the book.
Yeah.
But anything involving the Greyjoys in book 4 is just hot garbage. And book 4 is one of the weakest of the Feast of Crows is the weakest book of the bunch.
And Reek is on his way to the north to go help his homies.
Do you think
he'll get there much faster
Theon
than he
Greyjoy, Reek, gets a comeuppance, or do you think he dies? He gets murdered in a grand...
I think he gets a comeuppance.
Really?
Well, I mean...
You think his dick being cut off was the comeuppance? Or the punishment?
He lost his dick, he lost everything, but he's kind of got his shit back together. He went back and he saved his cousin. And then I think that it's not so much his comeuppance is that he is like some great hero. It's that he's risen up from getting his dick cut off and being made into Reek, that he actually gets to stand by his friends and stand by his family in the end battle. Like, I mean, he's going to die, but at least he's like going to die on his terms, and he's going to die a hero. Ish.
I mean, he's had his redemption.
Yeah.
Because he saved his sister, and she's going to the Iron Islands to give Daenerys and Jon a place where they can retreat to if they have to.
If they have to. And also, Mick Mars got eaten by dogs, so we're good.
Yeah.
I and after going back and seeing the previous episodes, I gotta say that the Battle of the Bastards was my favorite episode.
It's so good.
And I have to say, I think season 6 was my favorite season. No, okay, that's a lot. Wait, was it season 6? Yeah, season 6 was one of my favorites. Some of the best episodes were in that season.
Yeah.
I feel last season was actually one of the weaker ones, largely because of the amount of stuff with the Greyjoys, hipster Greyjoy, and with we could care less about the little girls assassins, what do you call them? The three little girls that like murder.
I love the Sun States.
I don't love them.
They didn't do enough with them.
And my only stuff I hated about season 6 was anything involving Arya training to be a mercenary.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, it took too long. Cool. Go if you binge watch it. See, this is why Game of Thrones is not good for binging.
I get that.
I think when you binge it, you get tired of shit way quicker, especially since these are long episodes.
They are. Yeah.
Episode 1's done. Are you guys psyched?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yes.
Very.
Yep, me too.
Yeah.
I think they're going to do this right. I'm excited. That's Game of Thrones. We are going to cover Game of Thrones every single week, and we don't care if you're sick of it because this is definitely one of the best shows ever on TV.
Hands down.
And this is coming from a man who doesn't like fantasy.
He does not like fantasy.
I'm not a fantasy fan. Like, I really am not. Allison, so at the time Game of Thrones premiered, we were also watching Spartacus, and we were also watching the King Arthur, who was there was a bad version of King Arthur and the Sword in the Stone TV show.
Merlin?
Camelot. We were watching Camelot.
Yep.
It was so bad, and she just made me watch that. And those two were like, two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
If you take Camelot and you take Spartacus and merge them together, it's Game of Thrones.
Same.
And I was like so kind of tired of watching those. Camelot was bad. Spartacus was better, but it was also
I always felt bad for that dude who played Spartacus. He got blood cancer.
horrible.
So sad.
And they replaced him without batting an eye. But Spartacus had that horrible thing where they were trying to make them speak old timey.
Yeah.
And what I loved most about Game of Thrones, what sucked me in all the way, besides the opening scene, which were the greatest opening scenes of any show, was the fact that they don't speak old timey.
Yep.
They just speak with British or Irish dialects. Hell, Tyrion doesn't even try. He has like just an American accent. Like it works.
It's all in the delivery.
It's just get a bunch of people with accents that look time specific. You don't need to have them speaking in thou and thou art like Thor language.
If you want that shit, read Jane Austen.
Anyway, love Game of Thrones. We're gonna put a pin on this episode, and we went to 9 o'clock, 1 hour perfectly.
Perfect.
In the meantime,
For the best podcast.
In the meantime, Ian, how can the kids reach you?
I'm on Twitter at Ian Gonzalez, and I'll be selling a whole bunch of stuff at the Unwinnable Geek Fleet, April 27th, at the First Presbyterian Church in Kearney. Buy my comics, buy my toys, buy whatever I'm selling.
I'm so excited for that. I will be there too, not selling stuff, but just being smiley, happy, and doing Instagram stories. Hambone, how can the kids reach you?
You can find me on Twitter at Handbreaker. I mostly tweet about cute animals, Dungeons & Dragons, professional wrestling. You can find my adventures on Instagram. It's all pictures of the podcasts I produce and the adventures that I go on at John Hambone McGuire. And My Tai Happy Hour, where you can find your podcasts.
Were you trying to plug mytitv.com? That was just a weird ending. It works, though.
I blew it on the dismount.
It's fine. You sold it well. You look pretty today.
I'm very pretty today.
I am George. You can reach me at GLK Creative on Instagram, at GLK Creative on the Twitters. I am at cultofgeorge.com. My Instagram, I've been on fire. Like, I've just been dredging up, like, the archive is getting there. I'm slowly building it out. I'm making Film Friday a thing.
It's a thing.
Eventually, I'll be doing longer form versions of these full shows on cultofgeorge.com.
Awesome.
If I finally get everything organized. Trying to organize 1,000. Do you know how hard it is to figure out what band, like, you have photos of a band, you have no idea who they're from, you've got to start researching, like, Asbury Lane's 2005, this shit, like, who opened. Do you know how hard it is to catalog this shit?
Oh my God, yeah.
I have been reaching hard for Tony Squindo. Because any psychobilly looking guy, I just send him a photo and he's like, oh, that's Bob. I know him, but I don't know what band. It could be one of 3 bands. And then he'll actually reach out to him.
Yeah.
I'd be like, Bob, which band is this?
Look, at the end of the day, everyone is happy when they get a good picture of themselves.
Exactly. Yep. So I'm George. That's Hambone. This is My Tai Happy Hour. You can find our entire archive on mytaitv.com. You can check out all our old YouTube episodes on
Lots
YouTube.
of them.
And you can follow us if you love live feeds. We'll be doing this on, it's live on Facebook.
Yeah.
Just follow me and don't be creepy.
Don't be a creep.
This is another message to make sure that you rate, review, and subscribe. Give us some love. That love turns into love back to you as we continue to do this series, which is now in episode 113, I think.
Wow.
Wow. Crazy shit, Hambone.
It's a lot, yo.
Take us out. Let's get our theme music fired up. Go!
Everybody remember, be nice. Aloha.
Перебиты, поломаны крылья, серой болью всю душу свело.